Welcome, pilots! My last content roadmap video was over a year ago in January of 2023, so it was about time I posted an update on how things have gone and what I'm planning throughout 2024. Shortly following my last update, I completed the 9-part series for high-security rogue drone combat sites. This completed my comprehensive library of video guides covering all high-security combat sites throughout New Eden. I also completed a series aimed at helping younger players fit their first cruisers for running high-security combat sites. I then followed this up with a series discussing regular data and relic sites. In August of 2023, I started running Abyssal Dead Space sites with the plan to start releasing a new video series discussing them. As I started to reach Tier 3, I increasingly found myself losing ships to the time limit. I started to realize I didn't much like Abyssal Dead Space, as I tend to like lingering as I investigate how things work, spend time gathering loot statistics, and so forth. Then the release of Starfield in September took me away from EVE completely for the next few months. I enjoyed my first month or two of Starfield, even setting up a Starfield compendium area of my website. There are a handful of side missions that I quite enjoyed, and I like just going out and exploring planets. But I found much of the main story content to be kind of bland. Crafting outside of weapon modifications doesn't really have much depth, and building outposts and ships is often just frustrating. I was quite surprised how much the game pushes you in the direction of joining Constellation and running the main storyline. This often makes it feel less like an open world, and more like a guided adventure game that isn't quite worth its rather high price tag. I think the main story would have hit much better for me if they'd found a way to let you stumble upon the artifacts on your own, only to cross paths with Constellation along the way. Especially if they give you opportunities to either join with them or compete with them. Imagine all the different ways you could roleplay and interact with the different factions if they all eventually become aware of the artifacts, and all end up having their own motivations for finding them. While it doesn't really affect my enjoyment of the game, I was also surprised by the disparity in scale. On the one hand, you have a huge galaxy with hundreds of planets to explore. On the other hand, all the major cities feel like they're the size of a small to mid-range town. Like how many people live in New Atlantis, which is apparently the only major city on the entire planet of Jemison? It looks like it might be the size of, Redding, California? I feel like even that is being generous. So to summarize, I did enjoy my time in Starfield. And it was good to see that the recent update in May added some important features that really should have made it in the initial release. Most notably, proper terrain and city maps. And the ability to decorate ship interiors. But I think for me to want to dedicate time and effort into the game again, I'd be looking for an update that somehow makes gameplay outside of the main story feel more connected to the universe. So after being kind of bummed out, realizing I wasn't interested in producing content for Abyssals, and then the same for Starfield, I came back to what I always enjoy, trying out new ships and fits and combat sites in EVE Online. I've been out running high-security combat sites in Pirate Faction cruisers for the past few months. So throughout 2024, I'll be releasing a new series where I'll take a deep dive exploring fits for each Pirate Faction cruiser. The series will begin with an introduction where I review the attributes of each ship, then separate videos for each ship where I try out different fits against each Pirate Faction. I seem to mostly come across pilots flying the Gila, Orthrus, and Stratios. So I thought I'd start a little off the beaten path with the Cinnaball and Phantasm instead. Later in 2024, I'm thinking I might make a return to Cosmos content, starting with the Caldari Cosmos in the Occulin constellation. So that's my summary of what to expect from this channel throughout the remainder of 2024. I now have over 100 videos dedicated to EVE Online on this channel, with many more to come. If you're looking for more of my gaming content, you can check out my website over at RileyEntertainment.com. Thanks for watching, and smash that like button if you enjoy my content.